All right, what is up, everybody? Lord have mercy. The struggle, the absolute struggle that I have been dealing with here. I'm gonna turn her tiny head. That ain't me. Let's do the average Joe here. So, welcome everybody to Let's Play Dark Souls. I'm gonna turn the sound down just a little bit. Um, there we go. I think that'll make for much better experience for everybody. So, I'm hoping that this will come as a treat. This is just something I'm doing um, actually as a personal favor to somebody, yes, but also um, just for fun. I'm playing just running through Dark Souls. This is not going to be a lore through. This is not going to have all cutscenes. This is not going to be a completionist playthrough. This is just something I'm doing for fun. Um, and I hope that you will enjoy it. This is just going to give me something fun to play while I shoot the shit. For those of you that do not know, I got really into From Software games, as many of us have, years ago with uh, Bloodborne. And I have played Bloodborne on the channel. Highly encourage you to check that out if you haven't. Not a lot of people have. Um, if you don't watch uh, the main game playthrough I did, the for the League co-op series that I did, where I got summoned in to help people, was a ton of fun. So this is just going to be an excuse for me once again to shoot my shit, do my thing, have a little bit of fun. Uh, I do not claim to be a particularly great player, but I'm not terrible either. So I'm sure I'll die quite a bit. You know, whatever. No, not going to be any speed run strats or anything exactly, but just fun. So I am playing Dark Souls Remastered um, on Steam. I just got this yesterday, so I did not get the keys. Plural. Uh, I've been playing Dark Souls for a long time. Dark Souls 1 actually was the first Souls game that I played, and I was not particularly good at it. I don't think most people are when they start. Dark Souls 2 had not come out yet or anything. Bloodborne hadn't come out yet. I want to say it was um, 2013, maybe. Um, shit. 2013 when I played for the first time, and I got mollywopped. I don't know how far I got exactly, but it wasn't very. And I took quite an extended break, and I did not play again until my best friend Jake, who has been in several of these videos all over my channel. If you see me playing with a Jake, this is the one I refer to. Um, he got really into Dark Souls, and I gave it another try, and we did a co-op playthrough, or as much as you can. And I had a ton of fun, and we played and we played and played, and uh, we got to like New Game Plus 3 or 4. I remember, and we got stuck on the Four Kings, and we spent days. I remember trying to level up and perfect the perfect builds to fight the Four Kings on New Game Plus 3 or 4 or whatever it was. And the shit is a lot easier said than done. I'll put it to you that way. It was a hell of an ordeal. So what have you been doing lately, Logan? Well, that's an excellent question. I appreciate you asking. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. I don't know what order I'm going to go in. For those of you who watch my Dynasty Warriors playthrough, um, the that dude stuck. No, he got back. The format is probably going to be fairly similar, where I kind of talk about myself and musings and ponderings and so on and such forth. And I ask you to contribute because I'm trying to make them discussions. Um, I've had a lot of weird things happen to me. And sometimes I rightly don't know about it all. I don't know. Um, I guess I'll go ahead and give a little bit of context from myself. For those of you who these videos are the first thing that you ever see of mine, which I hope that they aren't, but inevitably this will be somebody's first time listening to me shoot my shit. I am Logan. I'm in the bottom left corner of your screen. What's up, dude? Uh, what I do for a living is I am a meat manager. Well, what does that mean? I work in a grocery store chain that still has a meat department where we grind hamburger, cut meat. Think to yourself steaks or roast or pork chops or any of those things. I do. Um, I've been doing that for a number of years now. Um, February of this year, 2024, made 4 years. It's not something I exactly intended on doing. Actually, it's quite the opposite. I had planned on um, being a police officer, and just briefly, it's not so much that I wanted to be a police officer for the sake of having authority over people or anything like that. I think there's a lot of people that do that type of job because that's exactly what they want is authority over somebody. Quite a few spear, like quite a few young people. I didn't really have a plan for myself. I didn't have something in particular that I wanted to do with my life, but I knew I had to do something. And in order to go to school, college, I had to rely on financial support, a scholarship. And a scholarship was available to me, not because of my grades or anything like that, but it's just available to all kids who um, met some very low qualifications, performed some community service, and I need to get this bleed. Okay. And I did that, but also a part of that was is you had to act quickly. You had to sign up for school. And the original thing that I tried to do was as a paralegal. I didn't even know what a paralegal was. I just was like, well, that means working in a lawyer's office, and lawyers make really good money, so I'll do that. Paralegals actually typically don't do all that great. No offense to the paralegals out there, but that's, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, maybe that one ain't for me. Okay. So I had to regroup, and I thought, well, what's something that I could see doing for the rest of my life? That's pretty loaded ordeal, right? That's not a very easy decision to make for anybody. Or I've come to find out it isn't. But from my experience, things usually don't quite work out like most people plan. But anyway, so I pivoted. I said, all right, cops help people. So if I become a police officer, I can contribute to society. I can make the world a better place. Okay. And so I got a degree. I got an associate's degree. And um, for whatever that's worth to you, I got an associate's degree, and I ended up getting employed by the local jail because I had always heard that um, in order to get a job as a police officer, you have to pay your dues and start in the jail. So um, I started and I finished the first day, and I thought to myself, this is not for me. Ooh, Black Knight sword. And a chunk. Damn, got pretty lucky on that. What's a 20 strength, 18 dex? Might I do it? I planned on doing the scimitar and falchion, but uh, Black Knight sword sounds pretty fun too. I mean, I did get it, so I don't know. We'll see. We shall revisit that. We shall revisit that because the Black Knight sword, the great swords in this game, most of the weapon classes are actually pretty fun. The only one I can say I genuinely am not too crazy for is mace. So uh, I have recounted the story of my day working at the jail numerous times. I'll spare you, but uh, it didn't work out. So um, I was in need of a job, and the grocery store that was 2 minutes away from my house was hiring, as they always are, by the way. And I needed a job, so I applied. They said, "Hey, you want to try working in the meat department?" And one thing led to another, and now all these years later, I am the manager of my own meat department, and um, it's been a heck of a journey, and it ain't over yet. There's been a lot of twists and turns. I don't rightly know what other directions it may go, but I'm having a good time, and uh, I guess for the sake of the stories that I tell, so I don't chew my food twice, I'm not going to go over this context again. I've been very guilty of that before. I am going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and say that if they watch the rest of this series or any more of this series, that you know me and you kind of know a little bit about me from perhaps watching my Dynasty Warriors series or my Nobunaga's Ambition series or uh, any of my other videos where I talk and do my thing. So I have been trying to get a bleed proc here for like 3 minutes. There we go. I don't. I'm mostly going to shoot the shit from here on out. But I wanted to give a little bit of context for those that are new to me. Once again, I'm not a great Dark Souls player or whatever. I just am one, and I'm not doing this as a display of skill or anything as silly as that. I'm just doing this for fun, and I hope that it's just something that you can enjoy. I am no Lobos Jr. I am no Distortion 2, but uh, or any of the other great Souls tubers, Ouroboros, Frostcon, Thief. I'm just doing my thing. So I guess with that being said, I'll go ahead and get started here. I don't know what the length of these episodes are going to be. I guess I'll just go until I feel like I've reached a pretty good stopping point. But I guess to start with, I've been thinking about getting back into therapy. So when I was a young man, I not unlike quite a few kids, I um let's see. Well, there he goes. I was kind of bullied in school a little bit, and I didn't have the easiest time. And after middle school, I pretty much decided to become a shut in. I asked my parents to put me in homeschool, and I was homeschooled through a Christian academy for 1 year, and I didn't hardly half ass learn anything. And, the county in which I live had just come out with this program where they're like, hey, you can homeschool through the county government and still get a state high school diploma, which carries a whole lot more weight. And I mean, no offense to anybody, which carries a whole lot more weight than a private school, um, especially a religious based private school. And so, and you can stay at home and you can do your schooling. And let's do like one strength and then the rest in the health. But you can do your classes and stuff at home and then do your. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do the scimitar anyway, and then we may pivot to the Black Knight sword later for fun. Hold on. We shall see. We shall see. Um, so I did that, and then I went into this program, and I finished the rest of my high school career in that way. But I pretty much became a shut in. I didn't. Uh, I didn't really do much. I left the house once a week, once every other week, whatever. I mean, it was sad, sad. I ballooned up. I've been fat the majority of my life, but uh, I really ballooned up then. Like, the moral of the story, and this is not a pity me thing. I'm in a pretty good spot right now, mostly, and I'm gonna talk about that. But I guess my point being is that during that time, I was not a very healthy person, and unfortunately, like a lot of other people do every day, I tried to kill myself, and I did not succeed. Captain Obvious here, but um, I had left a note out and everything, and I had hit it. I had decided I was going to try again later, and in the meantime, my my parents found the note that I'd written, and they were obviously not very happy. Not like they were disgusted with me or anything like that. They were sad that had come so far so quickly, and that I was in such shape. And, you know, their solution, I don't know why that shit just did that, um, was to put me into therapy. Now, why can I not lock on? There we go. Ooh, this is gonna be rough here. Maybe from right here. All right. Oh, and therapy for me did not really work. Okay, I don't know how else to put it. And damn, didn't get the helmet. I think the largest reason for that is because I did not give it a fair chance. Okay, I had already in my mind made up that it was an older woman, and I'd made up my mind that she didn't give a shit. And if she didn't care, why should I care to tell her? And, in her mind, she thinks all my problems are trivial. And she don't give a shit about me. She just, if it weren't for my parents' money, she wouldn't even be talking to me. I had all these thoughts in my head, which is all, there's elements of that which are true, but are irrelevant. And I'll tell you why. So, therapy is not for somebody who is intimately involved with and aware of all of your issues to sit and talk to you. Okay. Actually, it's one of the worst things that can happen. For a true professional, for therapy to work, there has to be a level of disconnect there. Okay. And I thought somebody attacked me. I'm going to try and fight the Balder Knights and stuff. I didn't try sneaking up on him because I don't know if you can actually. Ooh, let's see. Let's just come out here, dude. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. About to firebomb his ass here. I would love to get the Balder Knight sword. Side sword. It has really good stats. Pretty good scaling too. Um so I did not have a good rapport with this woman, and eventually I told mom and dad, so this just is not working. And um they ended up getting me to see another therapist, this time a man, which is not to say I didn't like her because she was a woman, but it's just we didn't have much chemistry, and I felt like she was pretty condescending. So, and once again, she didn't give a shit, and all that. All that is still true, but I still felt like she was condescending. Whether she really was or not, I don't know. But I was just at the time. It's been quite a few years ago, so keep that in mind. And I had a lot more success with him, but a lot of the issues, perspective, my assumptions did not change. And so it didn't really do that much to me. I mean, it gave me an opportunity to vent. And that can be useful, but you don't need to necessarily pay somebody for that, you know, because I didn't really take the advice and stuff that he offered me very seriously, to put it mildly. So, and after that, I had session with him maybe 4 times. Never again. I was like, I'm all better. I wasn't all better. And it took a long time for me to actually get better. But I still was not in a good headspace. And I still needed, I don't know what I needed, to be honest with you. When I talk about my recovery and losing the weight, which, I'm not happy with where I'm at now, but I'm still 30 pounds down from my heaviest, which I was 220 pounds once upon a time. I'm not a particularly tall guy, and you can look at me and you can see it shows good and where it doesn't. But and that's neither here nor there. But let's see. So how much time do I need today? Okay, and then I'll need to get a little bit more for +5. But anyway, so I have all these issues, and I'm dealing with self-loathing. I'm feeling very inadequate. I hate myself. I hate myself because of my weight. I hate myself because I was bullied and I didn't stand up for myself, which is the worst possible thing you can do to yourself. Nobody should be fucking with you, and it shouldn't fall on you to beat somebody's ass to make it stop. Do you have to do that? Sometimes, yeah. Uh, but I did not. I was tired of being put in that situation and feeling like my caretakers were not taking care of me. And I didn't really have a place to go to get away from those feelings. I wasn't involved with sports or anything like that. And my parents, my dad lost his mom and dad like very close together, and he was having a lot of issues and stuff at work, and he wasn't in a good headspace. Mom was not in a good headspace. She'd just been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. She was in constant pain, and it made her very irritable, and it made her very unhappy. And you know, I came home, and I didn't really have any way to get away from these bad feelings I was having. And then eventually, I just was not in public school anymore, so I was just at home with all of the sadness and stuff. Uh, so this is spooky. I gotta take my time on this because the wall is jutting out. Uh, I had a lot of issues, and I've told it. I encourage you to watch the video, the most important story I'll ever tell. I don't really want to relitigate that right now, but it will give you context. And I've had so many things in my life that I didn't really down. I just got mollywopped on my word. Will it start me? Okay. Okay. Shield out next time. But I had a lot of issues that I needed help working through, and I had a realization the other day. So I've talked about this a lot, but my first relationship was with this woman, and she's 9 years older than me, and she has kids, and I loved her, and I asked her to marry me. And I've talked about this, really, the Dynasty Warriors series, Dynasty Warriors 4 Expert Mode series, which just finished a little while ago. You can see this whole journey. It's me talking about how I met this girl and how she was so beautiful and how I wanted to talk to her, and then how she messaged me, and then we started dating, and then, months later I moved in with her and asked her to marry me and all these things. And uh it was quite the journey, and it went very quickly, but it had to. And come to find out, there was some uh wow, I'm having a lot of trouble with this section. But this is part of my plan, though. We'll keep going. It doesn't matter. Um, part of my part of my journey with her, it made it so hard, is where I already had so many issues with my self image. So come to find out, and I will spare any names in all this. I haven't said her real name so far. I ain't gonna start now. But come to find out, she has what is called borderline personality disorder. And I'm going to talk about it, but I encourage you, pause the video and Google it. And I promise you, if you just Google borderline personality disorder and read about what it's like to be in a relationship with somebody like that, I experienced it. Okay, and it it takes a very heavy toll on someone. Which is not to say I was miserable with her all the time, or that I felt like I was trapped in an abusive relationship. She didn't hit me. A lot of times she acted like she was going to, but she never did. She'd hit things and she'd throw things and she'd ball her fist up at me, but she never hit me. But the sad truth is that the abuse did go much deeper than that. I did feel like in a lot of ways I was in an abusive relationship because there was constant issues. I mean, once um, uh, every week, it felt like we were uh, we were having these major issues where, um, damn, the hollows falling in threw me off there. This particular section is a little bit harder to play and talk at the same time, but I believe that when there's a will, there's a way, and that's not the point of this anyway. So, uh, it seemed like every few days, being with somebody that has borderline personality disorder is it's kind of crazy. It's because you experience the highest of the highs, but it's also the lowest of the lows. It's You will never feel more desired and propped up than when you are somebody with borderlines. There's a term for it. They call it their favorite person, and it sounds kind of silly to just say, but oh my word, when you are their favorite person, you will feel on cloud nine. You will be propped up. You're told you're perfect. They'll bend over backwards, talk about constant affirmation, constant attention, but just like that, they'll take it away from you too. And then, something I was accused of a lot was being a manipulator. Or, a lot of times she'd accuse me of cheating. She's all the time accusing me of cheating. And of being um, a closeted homosexual, or being in love with my friends, or anything like that. And ultimately, um, I'm ashamed to say that all of that was not a deal breaker for me. I don't know. What ultimately um, caused me uh, to leave her was, did I do it again? I am so sorry. I'm not trying to make this hard to watch. I really am not. But what ultimately caused me to call it quits was she cheated on me. And to tell you the truth, and I may never really know, but once again, to give you some context on a little bit more of the story, some other things other factors that were at play. So when I met her, she was working in another meat department for the same company. And she was not the manager of this department, she was the assistant manager. I dealt with her when her boss was off, one of his off days. They were the closest store to mine, and I was out of something that I needed, and I called down there, and I am so sorry, everybody. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is awful. Um, I was out of something, and I called down there, and it was her that answered the phone. And I knew right away from the way she was talking. I thought, I bet this girl's beautiful. She was. She is. I'll never say she's not absolutely gorgeous. I was immediately extremely physically attracted to her. And uh, she talked and she giggled at everything I said. And, that always feels nice when a pretty woman is laughing at your jokes and stuff. And things went very quickly from there. That night, she sent me a Facebook friend request, and we started talking on Messenger. And like I said, everything just, damn, everything advanced very quickly from there. What I did not realize was how close of a relationship she had with her manager. Um, you know, uh, I'm sorry, this is getting a little. But her manager and her, and I have no problem with anybody being friends at work. If you have to work every day, it's better to be friends with people that you work with. But what I did not realize is their relationship went a little bit beyond that of just being friends. And I don't know, once again, I don't know if they ever physically touched, but it started out one time, and this was after I'd done moved in with her, and I knew that they use Snapchat back and forth, and I don't use Snapchat at all, but I know about Snapchat, right? That um it's very private, you know. Uh, Messages are seen and then deleted forever, right? They're just gone, and so I said, and this is how I describe Snapchat, and I still believe this to be true. I think Snapchat is inherently stinky. Okay. Now, her boss is a married man, and he had just recently had his uh, wife give birth to their son. And I didn't realize how bad it was until one morning, you know, I had, it was time for us to go to work. And I realized I had left my keys at the gym. She had drove the night before. And so I she had to drive me down there to pick the keys up. And I seen that they started Snapchatting at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. And that made me go, hmm. And then it really, from there, it really uh it started to eat at me. My mind started thinking, because she had told me about how she knew that he had been in an affair with another woman, also the uh fiance of another meat manager, somebody that does exactly what I do. He was in a relationship with a already engaged woman who just happened to be engaged to a meat manager. You see what I'm saying here? There's some parallels. And it scared the shit out of me. And the more I thought about it, the more it upset me. And so eventually she was upset at me, and she always was, really, but she was really upset at me. And I said, well, really, I have something on my mind too. So why don't we go out and enjoy an evening ride? The weather was just starting to warm up a little bit, and we'll go and we'll get us something good to eat, and we'll spend some time together, and we will hear each other out over these things that we're upset about and have an adult conversation. Well, okay. Well, she wanted to go first, and she did. And she told me exactly what was on her mind and how I had stopped trying and this, that, and the other. And I tried, and I always did. I tried to genuinely hear her out and listen to her, and because I always felt like it was my fault anyway. And uh, it came time for me to say, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And she said, oh, I just know what you're gonna say is gonna piss me off. What? Uh, you just need to know I don't need to be in a relationship with somebody that's gonna piss me off. I can have any man I want. Okay. And so that's how the conversation started. I said, listen, the relationship that you have with, at this point, he had turned into her ex boss. He or she had been promoted to be a meat manager at another store, right? So all three of us are peers now. He's still at this old store. I'm still at my store, and she's at her new store, boss of her own location. Okay. And so, but they're still communicating every single day, all day long. And I told her, I said, listen, I said, I am not the type to hold on to little things. I said, I believe a big part of love and being with somebody is, trusting that person. You cannot have love without trust. You cannot have love without compromise. I said, there's a lot of little things that you do that irritate me, sure. But I'll let them all go because I love you. And that's what you do when you're in love, or that's what I told myself anyway. And part of that is true, but there was a lot of stuff that I let go that I shouldn't have. But oh shit, can I get back up? Nope. But with that being said, I said one thing that has absolutely been eating me alive is you messaging back and forth with this guy every day. You know, I don't. This is not a normal friendship. I said I know men. He is not messaging you all day long every day because he wants to be your friend. You know, it's not the case. And spoiler alert, I did find out that was not the case. But um and she tried to say, "Oh, well, my ex-husband didn't like it either, but you need to trust me. I know what I'm doing. It's nothing like that." You know, there is and a lot of people counseled me on this, and I didn't believe it at the time. But not that it's I thought I'm right and they're wrong. It's I tried so hard to believe that it was not true. And I'll explain. That uh, that I knew the real her, and that there was no way because she's been cheating on, right? Her other two main relationships she's had in her life, both of them ended with, or a large part of why the end was, is because she was being cheated on. So I've been told. Somebody like that, after firsthand experiencing that pain, right? They would never, not possible, not capable of doing that to somebody else, right? Well, that's what I thought. But come to find out, somebody that has been cheated on is very much so capable of cheating on somebody. Um, and I remember after having this conversation with her, basically, she didn't say she was going to stop texting. She said her big solution to the problem was, and I'm sorry I got off kilter there, but her big solution to the problem was, well, you trust me, and I promise you I'm not doing anything that I shouldn't be doing. I'm not saying anything I shouldn't be saying, and he isn't either. He is about to be promoted to be the next supervisor, which was true and did come true. Spoiler word on that one, too. I can't afford to upset him. Okay. Can't afford to do it because he's about to be the next boss. Right. And when he is the boss, he'll be the only one who can help me. So, okay. Man, this is still so painful. I've gone around my wrist to get to my elbow here, but this ties into to my ultimate point here. I'm getting to it. But once again, context. And they had been at minimum talking sexually and flirting with each other. And I say minimum because there's a little bit more to it all than that. But from what I know, oh my god, this dude already has the crown. He beat the DLC. Um, I got a notification. Let me check that real quick. Okay. And we'll ring the bell and we'll probably call it an end for this first episode. But I guess to finish that story, that is ultimately beyond all of the screaming and the accusations and all that stuff. It was the cheating that broke my heart, and it was I had a very what I felt was a very valid concern, and uh, it was kind of brushed under the rug a little bit, an outright refusal to do anything about it, and it hurt me really bad, and my imagination ran really wild with it. My paranoia. I remember, uh, every time I'd see her phone light up, or I'd see the Snapchat, and the guy's Snapchat name was just his name and initial. It'd be Snap from this guy, and there was no doubt who it was. And when she was, I talked a lot about being her favorite person, the way that she would smile at me and giggle and stuff. The way you very much so do when you're in love with somebody. She would look at her phone the same way when she got a Snapchat from this guy. And I knew that it was the same, and it destroyed me. Absolutely ate me alive. It's a very unenviable position. Something that I know a lot of people experience, but I can picture it so vividly in my head. One story in particular, which I'll probably start next episode with. And I'm sorry this is all such a downer so far. It's what's on my mind. And this series is largely going to be just what's on my mind. But anyway, I guess with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and call this episode here. I hope that you'll join me next time. I hope that you've enjoyed this so far. I'm not exactly even sure how long I ran here. Let's see, 53 minutes. Pretty good time to call it. I say thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.